You know, there's this big corporate buzzword out there, which is called adversarial growth, which means that through our most toughest of adversities can ignite some of the greatest of growth periods in our life. Adversarial growth. So I want you to start looking at crisis in a different way. And this is the first thing of what I wanted to talk to you about, which is this: leverage crisis. And if you have a pen and paper or if you have notes, I would like you please to write this down. Leverage crisis. Now, the reason why I say leverage crisis is that if you look at my car accident, before my accident, I didn't know my why. I knew my what. I knew what I was doing each and every day. I knew how I was doing it. But I didn't know my why. I didn't know why I did each and every day, why I woke up, why I had a family, why I earned money. I didn't know my why. But through my crisis, through my accident, it gave me a wake-up call. It gave me what I like to call enlightenment. And what enlightenment was for me to then start realizing, wow, I'm alive today for a reason and a purpose. Wow, I get to breathe. I get to eat. I get to wake up each day and put a smile on my face. And so I realized that each and every day it was a decision. And through that decision, I can make a difference to the world. And that only happened through a crisis. You know, the fastest growing company in the entire world wasn't Google, it wasn't Facebook, it wasn't Apple or Samsung. The fastest growing company in the world is called Groupon. Now, what Groupon is like a group buying power, but they use coupons. But get this, within 18 months of starting, within a year and a half of being founded, Google offered them 5.3 billion US dollars. Now, why is that? Because in the middle of the biggest financial recession, in the middle of the biggest financial crisis, this was the 2007, 2008 global financial crisis, Groupon executives said, we can leverage from this. We can learn from our crisis, from the current financial crisis, and we can grow a company that can be the biggest and the fastest growing company in the world. It's Groupon. Did you know that the radar was invented in the First World War through one of the greatest crises that ever happened? If you study crises all throughout the history of time, any crisis, whether it's a global crisis, it's a financial crisis, it's a engineering crisis, it's a medical crisis, you will find some of the greatest of breakthroughs that have happened in the middle of these crises. Crisis creates opportunity. When we are in a crisis, our biology links so much pain to it that says we must get ourselves out of it. Let me give you another example. Have you noticed that we procrastinate a lot? Human beings, we procrastinate. And it's like we know that something has to get done, and though we tend to procrastinate dealing with it, we know that we have a problem, or we might have an issue, or we might have a burden or something like that. But we don't tend to deal with it immediately. We don't address it. We tend to procrastinate it. We do it a lot. Yet get this, when it's a crisis, our biology says, wait a sec, there is so much pain linked to this thing right now. And our biology says, this is now a crisis. And our biology then says, we must get ourselves out of it because we don't like experiencing pain. And so through that, through experiencing that pain, we say we must now think differently, we now must think innovatively, and we must think creatively. There is a Chinese inventor, and his name was Shigeru Miyamoto. And Shigeru Miyamoto, he was actually a video games designer. He designed Super Mario Kart, Legends of Zelda, and so on and so forth. But he was also an inventor. And Mayuto Miyamoto actually invented many different things. And he invented things like the CD Discman. He also has a claim that he did invent the atom as well. But one thing I love about this inventor, Shigeru Miyamoto, this is what he did. He used to, in a swimming pool, go underwater and hold his breath. And by holding his breath for as long as he could, his biology then linked so much pain to his physical body in holding his breath. And Shigeru Miyamoto then goes on to say that it's in the milliseconds just before he passes out underwater, just before he dies underwater, like literally, he can no longer hold his breath anymore. His body is in so much pain. Thus, his biology starts thinking differently, starts thinking innovatively, and get this, right there is when he comes up with the most innovative inventions ever known. And isn't that amazing? That through crisis, we start thinking differently, we start thinking innovatively, and we start thinking in more imagination. And that is where innovation happens. That is where opportunity can arise. So my encouragement to you is this. What do you need to do to create a crisis? Actually create one. Because for too long, we've been procrastinating about things. We've had an issue, we've had a problem, we've had a burden, and we tend to procrastinate dealing with it. You know, it's really interesting. I actually speak all over the world, and I actually mentor many people. And one thing that I have found is that not a lot of people know what their purpose is. They don't know what their destiny is. They don't know what they're meant to do on this planet. They don't know what their why is. And then I ask them, I say, how much do you want to know what your why is? How much do you want to know it? How much do you really want to know what your why is, what your purpose is, what your destiny is? And they say to me, 100%. I really want to find out what I really want to do in life, what my purpose is, what my destiny is, what my why is. And I said, how much? And they said 100%. And then I say to them, how much time have you spent on finding out what your why is, what your purpose is, what your destiny is in the last 24 hours? Have you seen a life coach? Have you spent time meditating, finding out exactly why you exist on this planet? Have you written down your goals, your dreams, your aspirations? Have you actually done a vision board and wrote down all the things that you really want to achieve and do in your world? Have you done this? You know, I have found that more people spend more time planning their holiday than what they do their life. I'll say that again. More people spend more time planning their holiday than what they do their life. And so today I want to give you a 3-step strategy on really to help you how you can leverage crisis in your own life. And then through this 3-step strategy, I will actually then do a couple of exercises as well. Because what I believe is what you focus on is what you get. And if I can get you to write that down, write it down, please. What I focus on is what I get. Let me say that again. What we focus on is what we get. If we focus on everything that's going wrong in our life, that's how we'll feel. If we focus on everything that is all the problems, all the issues, that's how we'll feel. What we focus on is what we get. So I choose to focus on the right things in order for me to overcome any adversity or any crisis in my life. So the first thing is this. Here is a 3-step formula to actually overcome any crisis so you can find opportunity. The first step is this. Now write this down if you can. The first step is this. State of mind. State of mind. Let me unpack this a little bit for you. Our state of mind is like our psychology. It's like those times in your life where you just feel unstoppable. You know those times where you feel as if you can take on the world. You know those times where you just feel as if, wow, I feel clear, I feel energetic, I feel passionate. A lot of the time it happens, let's say, after meditation. It can happen after physical education, like a run. It can happen after sex. It can happen when we actually, when we're excited and anticipating something, but it's all about our state of mind. But our state of mind is an emotion, and emotion is inspired by motion. Most psychologists and counselors, what they say to people that have actually got depression or anxiety or stress, the first thing they say is go out and start an exercise regime. And the reason being is that your physiology is directly connected to your emotion, because emotion is inspired by motion, which means our physiology. I'll say it again. Emotion is inspired by motion, which means our physiology. So right now, I'm going to teach you what we like to call a power move. And so what a power move is something that we do in our physical body to snap us into a peak state of mind. Because research will tell us that when you're in a peak state of mind, you perform better in life. You perform better in your relationships, in your work, in your career. You just simply perform better in life when you're in a peak state of mind. So I'm going to teach you how you can snap yourself into a peak state of mind immediately. So what I would like everyone to do right now, I would like everyone to stand up. And so I'm going to stand up as well. So can we all please stand up? So let's all stand up. And so as you can see here, and I'm hoping that you can still see me, we're all standing up. So the first thing I'd like for you to do right now, I want you to make sure that your shoulders are back and your bum is out. So what I'm saying here is this. I don't want you to stand like this. This here is actually someone standing with a bad posture. So I want you right now, to roll your shoulders back and stick out your bum. So right now, I'm actually standing up very straight and very tall. So bring your head up as high as what you can and stand up nice and straight. Now I want you now to go on your tippy toes. So if you can now stand on your tippy toes, please. On the tips of your feet, stand nicely on your tippy toes. Great. So now this power move here goes in 2 parts. The first part of this power move is where we do something in our physiology. So we do something in our body. So the first thing I need you to do is I need you to do something physical in your body. So I say you do one of these 3 things. So you can either hit your hand on your chest like this, or you can clap your hands like this, or you can bang your hands on your thighs, on your legs. So you can go like this. So I'd like you to pick one of those. So it's either that, or either that. Just pick one. Okay. So has everyone got one? Everyone nod your head. Yes. Just pick one. Now the second thing I'd like for you to do is I now need you to do a victory yell with a fist pump. So it's like this. Ready? Yes! Okay. I need more energy. I need you to give me more energy. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes! Great, that's good. So now we're going to combine these two things together. So something physical and then yes. So don't do, wait. Don't do this yet. I'm going to show you what to do. Ready? So the first thing is this, is like, yes, like that. Okay, ready? Now I want so much energy right now. Wait. So now I need you to roll your shoulders back, stand up on your tippy toes. Stand up on your tippy toes, please. Great. Now I need more energy from you. I want more energy, please. Thank you. Okay, stand up on your tippy toes, roll your shoulders back, and I'm going to count to 3, and everyone will go, yes, like that. So you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes! Okay, wait. I want you now to do it 3 times in a row, and I want to see more energy. So turn to the person next to you and say, more energy. Okay. So let's just shake our body out. Just shake it out a little bit. Just shake it. Shake. Okay, now stand up straight. Roll your shoulders back and go on the balls of your feet. Excellent. Now I'm going to count to 3. Now we're going to do it 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. So this is what we'll do. Don't do this yet, but this is what we'll do. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we all go, yes, 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 and then we'll all clap and cheer, and then we'll high five the people next to us. Do you understand? Good. Okay. Now roll your shoulders back on the balls of your feet. And now I'm going to count to 3 and we're going to do it 3 times in a row. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes! 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 Clap and cheer. And now high five. Okay, you can grab a seat. Please, grab a seat. So the first thing is this, is our state of mind. The first thing is our state of mind. And our state of mind is an emotion, and emotion is directly associated with motion. So if you ever feel tired, lethargic, depressed, sad, anxiety, if you feel defeated, you need to stand up and do your power move, because that power move will directly snap you into the right peak state of mind. That's the first thing to do to ensure that crisis creates opportunity. Second thing is, let's all please write this down. So the second thing is this, is story. Story. Now what story is story is all about the limiting beliefs and the negative stories we tell ourselves of why we're not good enough. You know, we have these negative stories, these limiting beliefs that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. No one loves me. I'm not liked. I can't earn that much. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good looking enough. And we have all these negative stories, all these limiting beliefs that have been stopping us for too long reaching our full potential. So today, I'm going to do a mindfulness exercise with you to ensure that these little voices that says I'm not good enough, or no one loves me, or no one likes me, or whatever that limiting belief is actually conquered once and for all. Because it's what I like to call an incomplete. Because things happen in our life and then we create a story around it. Let me give you an example. Let's say your mum or your dad didn't hug you or didn't say to you, I love you. And then suddenly then you create this story that says, I'm not loved. But all that happened was that mum and dad didn't hug you or they didn't say, I love you. But you've created this story, this limiting belief that says, I'm not loved. Let me give you another example. Let's say all of your friends, someone was getting married and you weren't invited to the party. Let's say you didn't get invited to a party. And then suddenly you create this story or this limiting belief to think no one likes me because I didn't get invited to a party. Now no one likes me. And so we've created this story, this negative belief to think that no one likes you just because you didn't get invited to a party. Or let's say someone said to you once that what you did, what you tried there, it is not good enough. Do it again. But suddenly then you think that I'm not good enough. Just because this one thing that someone said that this job, this thing that you did isn't good enough, you then think, or you've created a story or a limiting belief around it that now I'm not good enough. So these are stories, these are limiting beliefs, and these stories, these incompletes, have stopped us for too long moving forward in our life. And crisis cannot create opportunity if we have these little voices in our head that says, I'm not loved, no one likes me, or I'm not good enough. So I'd like for you right now to get authentic with yourself. I'd like for you right now to be real. I'm asking you right now to be real. And I'm asking you to be authentic and be vulnerable. You know the word vulnerability comes from the Latin word vulnerabilius, which means an opened wound, an opened scar. And the word vulnerability is so powerful because I believe that we all have wounds, we all have scars. And it's not until such time as we actually expose the wound for it to actually heal. And right now, I want to create a miracle. Who in this room would like a miracle to happen right now? Put your hand up if you'd like a miracle to happen right now. We're going to create miracles right now. And these miracles is about healing ourselves when it comes to these limiting beliefs, these negative excuses, these stories that we have told ourselves why we're not loved, why no one likes us, and I'm not good enough. So I want you to pick a limiting belief or a story that you've got. Now, you don't need to tell anyone, but this is where I'd like for you to be vulnerable. This is where I'd like for you to be authentic with yourself. What is one thing in your life that shouldn't be there? This one thing in your life that you think, yep, this shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there at all. And I want you to now think of this one thing. Now, what I'd like for you to do I would like for you to, in a moment, to close your eyes and just think of this one thing that should not be in your life, this limiting belief, this negative excuse, this story, this thing that shouldn't be in your life. It could be a story like no one loves me. It could be a story like I'm not liked. It could be a story like I'm not good enough. So I want you to think of one of these things in your life that is evident in your life. Be honest, be truthful, be vulnerable with yourself, be authentic. I want you to focus on one thing that shouldn't be there at all. Now that you have this one thing, I would like you right now to close your eyes. Can I please get everyone to close their eyes? Please close your eyes. Now, I want you to think of this one thing that's in your life that you know shouldn't be there. And you're really frustrated with this one thing because you know that this is the one thing that has stopped you from reaching your full potential. This is the one thing that you know should not be in your life. And you know that this one thing, if it was gotten rid of, then you could start achieving true fulfillment and prosperity. Now, I want you to think of 1 year's time. In 1 year time, I want you to think of this thing, this one thing is still a part of your life. So I want you to imagine that right now, in a year's time, it's 2017, and you're back here at the Spiritual Congress in this room, and this one limiting belief is still a part of your life. And you're really frustrated with yourself. You think, why is this thing still a part of my life? You're really annoyed with yourself, and you think, why did I allow this in my life? And you're really annoyed. And you think, why didn't I get rid of it a year ago? There in 2016, when that Australian man through Skype, he challenged me on it, but I didn't get rid of it. And now it is 2017, and it's still a part of my life. Now, I want you to now think of 5 years from today. 5 years from today, it's 2021. There's a lot of changes that have happened in the world, a lot of things that have happened, but you haven't changed at all, or only a little bit. And the reason why you haven't changed is because this one thing is still a part of your life. You haven't gotten rid of it. And you're really annoyed with yourself. Why didn't I address it 5 years ago? Why didn't I deal with it then and then when Sam asked me to? Why didn't I address it? And so right now, I want you to think of 5 years' time, and you think, wow, this limiting belief, this story is still a part of my life. I want you to now think of 10 years from today. In 10 years' time, and you're thinking, wow, there's so many changes that have happened in the world, so many things happened, but you haven't changed much at all. And the reason why you haven't changed is that this limiting belief, this negative story is still a part of your life. And you're really frustrated with yourself. You think, why did I allow this thing to be in my life for so long? Now here I am 10 years down the track, and it's still a part of my life. Why did I allow it to be there? Now, with every eyes closed, I want you to come back to today. And I want you to imagine that today is the day that this story will no longer be a part of my life. That there is a release of this negative belief, this limiting belief, this story that has been in your life through most of your life. Today is your kairos moment. Today is a moment within a moment that this will no longer be a part of my life. That this will no longer be a part of your life. Today is the day. Your time has come. You're now completely free from it. Now, I want you to imagine in 1 year's time, in a year's time, you're back here at the spiritual congress, and now you're free of it. And you've just seen the most successful last year of your entire life. You are more fulfilled in the last year than what you have ever been, because this one thing is actually now no longer a part of your life. You feel great, you feel fulfilled, you feel absolutely brilliant. Now, I want you to now imagine in exactly 5 years' time. 5 years' time, you've just had the greatest 5 years of your entire life. You've just experienced the greatest fulfillment, the greatest happiness and joy and peace and prosperity that you've ever had in the last 5 years, because 5 years ago in that room, I made a decision. And that decision was that this will no longer be a part of my life. And now I'm completely free from it. And I feel amazing. Now I want you to think of 10 years from today. How old are you? I want you to actually visually imagine that you are 10 years older, that things have changed all throughout the world, but the greatest change in a positive way has been with you, because you have been free for 10 years from this limiting belief, this negative story that has stopped you from moving forward. And over the last 10 years, you've had the most amazing 10 years of your entire life. So I want you to now come back to today. Just come back to today. Come back to today. And I would like you right now to write down a declaration. And this declaration will say something like, today is my kairos moment, that this negative, limiting belief story will no longer be a part of my life. I release you today. I would like you to write a declaration to yourself that might sound again something like, today is the day where this thing will no longer be a part of my life. I release you right now from my life. I release you right now. So, now that we're just finishing off our own declarations, the first thing we focused on was state of mind. The second thing we focused on was story, these limiting beliefs that stop us from moving forward in our life. The third thing I'm going to talk to you about is strategy. Strategies. The first one was state, second one was story. Now we want to talk about strategy. And I believe that the greatest strategy that we can have in overcoming any adversity to find that crisis creates opportunity for us to bounce forward is this. Proximity is power. Proximity is power. What do I mean by that? There's now undisputed evidence that now shows that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. The company that you keep determine who you are. I'll say that again. You are the average of your 5 closest friends. The company that you keep determine who you are. So my question to you is, who do you hang out with? What exactly, who are the people that you surround yourself with? The people that are actually there, the people that are saying, hey, How can I help you? How can I partner with you? And this is your proximity, the company that you keep, the mentors, the coaches that you have in your life. And so today I wanted to encourage you to just simply hang around with the right type of people that will influence you in a positive way rather than a negative way. The people that inspire you towards greatness and so on and so forth.